Hello, everyone. Well, welcome. Welcome to our third class. Today, we are going to get into more detail on the bow step, and we are also going to do the sort of first major move in the Yang family long form, which is left ward off. So that is the very beginning of Grasp the Bird's Tail, and we are going to lift an imaginary macaw, large, very large tropical bird on our arm and stroke its tail in order to try to remember the very end of that. Last week, we invested a lot of time in some imagination to see if we could discover what our bodies already knew about finding a really great stable position that also kept us agile, so that we were able to, on a rocky mountaintop, shoot our bow and arrow. We were able to test our footing. This also gave our bodies another opportunity for us to get into our Tai Chi bodies and be aware of how we could move slowly. So, and be balanced. A lot of us are working on our balance. So that is still recommended for everyone. Walk around with your head up high, walk around in slow motion, do what you can to get that Tai Chi toolkit sort of all primed and ready to go. So let's get started by warming up. We've got several warm-ups to do today, but let's just begin with some of these exercises that we have been doing just to sort of warm up a little. One of the really nice ones is just to sort of jiggle and sort of sit down on that bar stool, let yourself just hang loose. At the same time, be very erect, very tall, right through your center. Nice, nice. Very nice. And then let's settle a little bit. Let's settle, go into prepare. Our legs are going to be a little straighter now, but we're still sitting in that bar stool. Just kind of not sitting in it, but reaching down for that very high chair. So we're extending and relaxing our lower back. Our arms are hanging, our neck is very long. We've got that vacuum up above our head. Nice, very nice, lovely. Welcome, Rima, nice to have you here. We're just warming up, doing a little prepare here. Nice, our arms are hanging, the neck is very long, and we feel a little bit like our whole body is suspended from our shoulders. So our shoulders are down. Wonderful. And let's gaze up at the moon. Keep those shoulders down. And sink. Bend those knees as you push down. And then at the very end, just feel a nice extension here. And another time coming up and gazing up a little, then our gaze comes down and we push down. And then right from here on, let's just feel a little extension. So we can give that spine a real chance to just gently expand. And feel our feet pressing down. Nice, one more time. Breathing in and out. And how about we come up and out? And this time, let's sort of imagine a big, huge, old tree like on the west coast of the United States or some places in Europe. and then come back to like an East Coast US tree, right? Let it, it's almost like the tree is growing and you're hooked to that tree. And then shrinking. We can think of a tree as sort of breathing and growing and coming in. Notice that your elbows are down. You folks are all fabulous at doing that. Nice. You should feel a connection from the tips of your fingers all the way around your back to your other fingers. Everything just gently extended. Nice. And I'm coming up and then I'm coming down, sinking. Sink as low as you want, just a little bit works. Should feel your weight even on your feet. Nice. And then pushing down. Nice. How about those knee bumps that we did the other day, right? So we jiggled first, sort of got a gorilla on, you know, our gorilla lower body. And then we settled with our knees bent. And then we brought out this thigh. And I want you to like just sort of swing your whole hip this time, right? Swing your hip. Swing that hip out, but make sure, nice, make sure that other leg stays straight. Nice. So your connection, your root, we call it, your connection with the ground on this leg is your heel pad. And your connection with this leg, which is more of your standing leg, is your whole bottom of your foot. Nice. And now let's bring what I call your Tai Chi pole. That's Kelly's term, one of our teachers. Bring that Tai Chi pole over here. So you're a little more over here, and move your sort of pad, the pad of your heel, your heel again on this side. And then we're going to do that again. We're going to take that whole hip and turn it. And when you do, make sure the other leg stays straight. The other hip is not turning in this case. See? Other hip is not turning. So we're separating our ability to move one hip versus the other. Nice. Nice. Any questions about that? We're going to be doing more of this later. All right, I'm going to get a drink of water. All right. Let's now, I want us to come over and take this Tai Chi pole, the center of us, all the way down. I want you just to imagine that when we're moving, we are moving this whole center of us over to one side. So what I want you to do, push, is have that leg out, move your Tai Chi pole over, and really stand there, lift up this foot. Lift up this foot. Lift up this foot. Nice. Now we're going to bring it back. Close over here. Come a little bit this way. Open over here. Bring it over. You got it all the way over. Can you lift up? Lift up. Lift up. Nice. All right. Very good. Now, last time we worked on our bow steps. And when we did, and you can mirror me or you can do this the way, however you want, but I'm just going to be facing towards you. You notice I don't have anything on my arm to indicate that one arm is one thing or another. What I'd like to do now is let's see if we can remember remember when we were on that rocky mountain top and we were shooting our bows and arrows, we found that we were kind of in this position. Most of us were in this position, right? In this position, but it's the same position where one of, you might say one was straight and one was out to the corner, or you could say both of them were not parallel, right? But we weren't like this, right? That'd be a little too much, right? And so I want to show you how we use this in Tai Chi, because we have what's called the bow stance. So I'm going to send you this picture. I'm going to send you this picture. It's actually a video which shows you all the elements of a bow stance with Grandmaster Yang demonstrating. All right. So we're going to do that. One of the things I want to show you is just the basics of it to start with. So we're going to be right here. And if you move a little bit to the left and do what we did before, you can put one of those to get into a bow step. You put one of your legs out and then move your center over, very erect, and stand there and open up this other leg. Now, you might want to bring it in, right? You could do that. But in this case, I just want you to unfold it as far as you naturally go. So if this knee is bent a lot, you could go really far, but you'd have to be really strong and balanced to get it back, right? You could go really far, right? But most of us, for right now, will probably just be unfolding it however far we have bent our knee, right? We're going to imagine we are on these railroad tracks. I have railroad tracks, they're shoulder width apart. Start on that shoulder width, pull over to one side a little bit, turn out, bring your Tai Chi pole back onto this side, be able to lift this foot, and just take it along that railroad track, right? So that, notice we can do this too. Now, heel, ball, toe, bend knee. That's what your foot's going to do. Let's look at our Tai Chi pole now. So I'm going to come up again here, and we can just do it on the other side. Same thing, right? So we're going to now put this one out. You may find one side's easier. Get your balance. Where's that balance? Sometimes you feel better if you go further down. Wherever it is, wherever you feel strongest. Can you lift this foot up? And nice. Keep your balance. And unfold. Root with your heel, like make your connection with the lower ground. Ball, toe, bend knee. Okay, now what else is happening? Several things. Here, we come out, we move over. I want you to we extend. I want you to watch my center. My center, my Tai Chi pole, as I heel, ball, toe, it moves to the center. Do you see that? Right between my 2 feet. We're on that line. As I bend the knee, I could go like this, right? And I'd go past the center. We don't do this. We turn our hips. We turn our hips so that our hips are to the corner, right? Your hips are to the corner. Now, your shoulders could be wherever you want your shoulders to be, right? So you might see if you have that, that may be really hard for you, or that may be really easy. But notice that your hips are open to the core. Look down, say, yep, they are. The other thing I want you to do when you look down is I want you to see that this leg is in line with your toes. And this leg needs to be in line with your toes. This, not the whole leg, just the knees. I'm sorry, I said leg. Your knee is in line with your toes here, and your knee is in line with your toes here, going this way. All right?
Dee Dee?
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about what's happening with where your weight is as you do this?
Absolutely. Well done. All right. So we're gonna come this way now. And so if you want to go shoulder to shoulder with me or not, but then I think you'll be able to see several things. So we're going to shift over. I'm going to shift over onto this side, my left side. I'm going to turn out with my right leg. I'm going to shift, get all of my weight over here. And then right now there's not much weight on that left foot, right? Not much weight. Right? I can take it right back. I'm going to put the weight down and I'm going to put the weight on. And at one point, the weight is kind of equal. And that is about the spot where I'm right in that center. And then as I bend my knee the last little bit, there is more weight. My back leg is straight. My front leg is bent. Do you see though that my knee is not beyond my toes? So I haven't done this, right? Because that might put too much stress on my knee. In fact, it feels like my front foot is pushing straight into the ground. Whereas if I do this, it feels like I have a vector, just to be physics oriented, a vector out that way, right? So you want that front foot to feel like it's pressing straight in the ground, okay? So that's what your desire is, and you should be able to see the edge of your toes past your knee when you look down. When you do that, you should probably be about 60% of your weight in the front and about 40% in the back. And if you start to bend your back leg more and straighten your front leg more, there's a place where you're just about 50-50. And then you'd have to turn your hips a little, but if you bend sort of all the way, do you see how my hips turn here to get my front leg straight? If you did that, then you would be about 60 in the back and 40 in the front. So a bow step is 60-40. Does that make sense? You can experience that. So here are some of the things about that bow step. Like that picture, I'll show it to you this way now. So again, if you want to do it with me and line up, you're welcome to. If we shift to the right, turn out to the left, and then bring our Tai Chi pole over, unfold that right leg, heel, ball, toe. Now the Tai Chi pole is moving towards the center of your railroad tracks, sort of moving forward and towards the center on the diagonal, heel, ball, toe. And then you're going to really bend that knee and sort of finish the turn of your hips. Your hips are very open at this point to the side, not to the side, to the corner. So if I put my hands like this, you see, they're towards the corner. They're not this way and they're not this way, right? And again, your shoulders can be wherever you want those shoulders to be. So this is a nice, if that feels good, go ahead and do it. So what have we got here? We've got a back foot, which is out at 45 degrees. We then end up with our front foot going in the direction we're going. We end up with our hips to the corner. Our chest can be anywhere. And there's two different, and one other thing that's a major aspect of the bow step is that we want a rounded crotch, a rounded area, a rounded base. So let me turn a little bit. You can see the roundedness now, right? You can see how it's more round. This is an arch. This is why in an earthquake, you went like this, right? You went like this, which turns out to be your bow step, right? Because you wanted a really stable position, and an arch will give you that. In an arch, you can push down and neutralize all sorts of forces and make them go downwards. So that is the real reason why it's called a bow step. Not because we used a bow and arrow or anything like that, but because it has this critical bowing from one leg to the other. In fact, you can imagine when you shift your weight, the weight pushing down with this leg and the weight sort of coming up here and going down, and now it's over here, and now I'm going to turn out, and then I'm going to push down here, a little bit comes up, it fills this leg, I bring my Tai Chi pole over, and I extend that leg, and then I root, I push. That also involves pushing from my back leg. And I'm going to move to the center and make sure I also turn. What we do not want to do is this. We don't want to do this, right? Do you see how that's different? And that will not be as stable. What we want to be stable is we want to get to the center, and then stay in the center, because the center is where we're going to have more control. Nice. You folks are really looking really, really good. Any other questions about that? Okay. I want us to practice getting into these bow steps a little more quickly. All right. So I'm going to turn this way. And I want you to shift a little to the left, go out to the right, all your weight to the right, stand on that right leg, open, heel, ball, toe, you're in the center, and make sure those hips are open to the side. Don't care what your upper body does at this point. And so stand, push with the back foot, heel off, bring your Tai Chi pole over, and bring up your other foot, right? Come back to center. Move a little bit past center onto this side, turn out, all your weight to the left now. No weight on the right, unfold, root, heel, ball, toe, you're moving to the center, feel that Tai Chi pole moving to the center, and your hips opening and turning to the corner. Now, put yourself on a mountaintop. feel the arch. Feel your feet sort of grabbing, right? Feel that you are like in prepare, gorillaing, relaxing this lower back. Always, always. Now, you're gonna come back. Oops, no, we're not doing that yet. Sorry, that's another week. Okay, push with the back foot, peel off. Now you're going to let your Tai Chi pole move all the way onto your front foot. That's where it has to be, so you can pick that back foot up and bring it up. Come back to center. Shift over, turn out, shift over. Very tall, very aligned. Release that left foot, unfold, root, heel, ball, toe, turn, turn, turn to the corner. Are you in the center? Look down. Are your knees in line with your toes? Each knee in line with their respective toes. Is your front knee, can you see your toes, the edge of your toes? And your back leg, is it a little straight? May not be that straight. And peel off. Now you're going to move your whole Tai Chi pole all the way along the diagonal. Bring that foot up and come back. How's this going? All right, we are okay? Any questions? How about we do some arms? How about actually before we do that, I show you what our move's going to be? All right? You will try this at home, but I suggest you just watch right now. All right, this is left ward off. So we've come down after opening. We're going to shift our weight and swing out, and then swing back. All our weight's on the right. Switch our arms and come up. Let me put on. So you know that this is when you see a sleeve, we haven't needed this yet, on one of my arms, it is always the right arm. Always, always the right arm. So this is my right arm. I'm going to swing out, shift my weight, and here, imagine a big bird on your arm, and you lift it up. So this is going to be our movement. Has a lot of pieces with it, but we will have this movement. So let's work a little bit on some of the arm movements. So I am going to actually do this, if it's okay with you. Put your right arm up and sort of high five me. Right, there you go. Yeah, high five me. Okay, everybody is there. Okay, so I'm going to do the arm part of the movements, right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go like this. We're actually going to be swinging our hip too. We're going to go like this, and we're going to swing. So just sort of swing. Swing. Okay, swing. Here we go. We're going to swing, and then as we move over there, but we're not going to do that right now, we're going to swing back, and here's the tricky part. We're swing back, and we're going to swing this arm up to press a button. Just think about that. That's not what we're really doing. But for now, press a button. Nice. So that should be coming out sort of from your shoulder. Okay? So let's just do this much. we're going to swing, swing back. Swing, swing back. Right? Swing. And then it's going to, as we swing back, it's going to come up and in. Right. Nice. And look what, yeah, you folks are noticing that. The other arm, this is going to be another kind of ward off arm. It's going to look really lovely. If you want to just put it, let it hang and go this way for now, it's okay with me. Eventually, it's going to be an arm like this that isn't quite there yet. So if you've done other Tai Chi, nice, nice. I see some Tai Chi arms. It always helps me to get a Tai Chi arm to put a butterfly on it. Somehow, if there's a butterfly on my arm, the whole arm just gets excited. All right, so here we are. And swing. Swing out, press a button. Other arms palm back, hanging. Right? Then we're going to, what's in Tai Chi called a close. And we'll practice this more next week. But for now, I'm going to call it switch. So from here, see how that was like that? You're just going to sort of switch. This arm is going to come in. Like this. Nice. Okay. So from here, you're turning, you're swinging those arms, and then you're going to turn back, turn back, turn back. The right arm goes up, the left arm goes down. Nice. Then we're going to close those arms. Close those arms. We'll do this in another direction in a minute. All right. I'm going to teach the footwork and then we will come back. But I want to teach everything, all the parts, and then we'll put all the parts together. All right. All right. So actually, before we do the footwork, I want us to, if you can put your shoulder towards the screen, your left shoulder towards the screen, we'll just do what we were just doing. So we push down like we were at the end of opening. And we were turning to the right and sort of our arms were swinging, right? One of them therefore ends up a little in front of us and one of them ends up a little bit, sort of just a little bit behind. Nice. Then we turned back. When we did, we're throwing our right arm up and our left arm down. So now you can see it better. Yeah, here's that down. Nice, nice. And then, remember, we switched them. Do you see now? You can see where those arms are. We sort of switched them. Okay? We switched them. So let's try that again. From here, we're going to swing to the right and let our arms actually swing a little bit. Just feel them swing a little bit. We'll slow it down. Yeah, nice. But they're pushing down. Keep that push. But it's nice to have that swing. Just sort of feel like it's coming from your center. Your center turns. You're like a machine. It turns and your arms swing. Then your center turns back. And when it does, you know, if you were actually not stopping here, it could throw this arm up, this right arm. And it's right, I don't know, it's about a foot from me. So it ends up looking like it's, and I think push a button to get your hand in the right position. Yeah, nice, nice, nice. And then our left arm is gonna come across our body like this, and our right arm is just gonna, elbow is just gonna close in. Nice, yes, yes. Don't get too close to yourself. Let it be out, let it be out, let it be beautiful. So not like this, like this. Let's try it again. And swing out, swing to the right, swing back, push a button, switch. Nice. Okay, let's look at what the footwork is. The footwork you've kind of already done too. We are going to, this is the swing out moment. We're swinging this hip out. That's the turn that's going to help swing our arms. Okay? So this is that swing out. We're just turning that hip out, right? So that happens. Push a button moment is this moment. Then if we were doing this fast, we'd like this, right? I mean, we'd actually we wouldn't bring our other foot in, but we'd shift our weight over right as our hands go up to push the button and the other hand comes down. So we're going to do that really slowly. You don't have to do the hands at this point. We're just going to come out. Swing out and then shift over. You see, as I shifted over, I also put my whole Tai Chi pole here, and my shoulders are on their way to straight. And then we practiced this earlier. We're just going to step forward, heel, ball, toe, and then we're going to do a really big turn as we bend the knee to this corner. Okay? So let's just try that again. So we've got a little bit of a shift to the left so we can turn out that hip. Everything to the right. Everything. So that you can pick up that left foot, unfold it, heel, ball, toe. You're moving your Tai Chi pole. You're turning your Tai Chi pole. And you're going to end up actually looking here. So let's try the looking now. We're going to, a little shift to the left. We're going to turn out to the right. And you can go ahead and let your gaze go a little bit to the right. Stand. Open. You're now definitely looking straight ahead. I'm going to check that gaze. It maybe you keep looking straight ahead. And now your gaze is going to move. Your Tai Chi pole, your hips are going to turn to the corner. And when they turn to the corner dramatically, you're going to let your head go further and look all the way here. And don't forget you've bent your knee. Does this make sense? Let's try putting the pieces together. From here, you're going to have a hard time seeing the switch, okay, from this perspective, but we'll find a perspective you can see it from. So we've finished opening. Our legs are straight but relaxed. We're going to shift a little to the left and swing out. When we swing out, we're also sort of doing it like a knee bump, right? We're swinging that leg out and that hip out. Swing out. Now, shift your weight over, and as you do, push that button on your right hand, and your left hand is going to be palm back. Get your balance. Now switch as you put your heel out for that bow step as you unfold. So my right hand is kind of in front of my right shoulder. I don't know, about 10 inches out. My left hand is underneath, about, I don't know, a foot underneath. It's like across my belly and underneath my elbow. Then heel, ball, toe. As I do that, I'm moving my body and I'm going to start extending my left arm, and my right arm is going to come down and push down at my side. So it looks like this in the end. Okay, this is looking pretty good. I'm going to give you another perspective on it. The problem is this big turn tends to hide what we're doing. So we're going to do it this way. You can never see everything, right? All right. So you can look over your right shoulder, shift a little to the left, swing to the right, swing back. Now, that foot is to the corner and you're pressing the button, right? Pressing the button out here. Oh, I'm sorry, and we have to shift. Right, from here, swing out, shift to the right as you push the button and swing your arm up. So now my Tai Chi pole is over my right foot. Balance there and switch as you unfold that left leg. Then I want you to put that big bird, that macaw, on your forearm. Let it be light enough that this is not a problem. And then you're going to come down that macaw's back and all the way down to the tip of its tail. It's just going to be sitting here. Its head's up here. So you're going to start there. Its feet are here and has this long tail, right? So you're here. As you move forward into the Tai Chi pole, into the center, heel, ball, toe, there you're petting that macaw and turning. Your head turns all the way to this direction. If you look down, your body, your hips are open to this direction. We are getting there. All right, so there are probably a bunch of questions right now. We're going to get a lot more practice in this, and we're going to put it together with everything we've already learned. But I'm sure there are a number of questions right now because this is not necessarily easy at all. A lot I'm throwing. That somehow right, exactly. Like when I was first exposed to this, I was like, what? Why don't they put an easy move like opening, like as the first move? Don't worry, when the next one's a little easier. So, any questions?
Dee Dee,
Yes.
In the end, when you're boarding off, your gaze is not over your ward off arm. It
is not. It is not.
Yeah.
It is, however, no. So let me introduce everybody to the clock, and that will make it a little easier. The clock will either help you or you'll want to forget it. So everybody reacts different, but an old analog clock on the floor. So this is actually the way we would do it most of the time. This is 12 o'clock, and then this is 3 o'clock, and 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. So everybody kind of get that feeling of the analog clock we put on the floor. And in this move, we put our foot out, to 130, and then, you know, we're stepping towards 12 o'clock. And then if you look, this arm, this lower arm is already kind of pointing towards 3 o'clock, and it just extends towards 3 o'clock, and you actually look in the direction that it's extending. Okay? Which is a little weird. It is a little weird because what does this actually mean? You've grabbed somebody's arm and their elbow is right here. And you've controlled their elbow, or you've, you know, they've given up and you haven't broken their arm, or they haven't given up and you've broken their arm, right? So that's what this movement is. So the action is happening here. But if they get out of it, you're gonna need to be a little more in this other direction. So, and grasp the bird's tail is actually all about a sequence of moves where you try something and it doesn't quite work, and then your opponent tries something and it should work, but it doesn't quite work because they're so smart. and it keeps going like that until you get the best of them at the last move. So that's how that works. Other questions about this at this point?
I find that when I take a step forward, what you're calling just open, that somehow my legs are closing a little bit. And when I look down after I've placed my leg, the heels are now less than shoulder width apart.
Yeah, it takes a long time to kind of get that. That's because there's this natural, it's not easy. That's why we practice this coming over. And you're going to have to, if that's what's happening, the other thing you can do is you can bring this foot in. You can always do this for balance. So although this move is, you're going to be taking a step and just unfolding from here. Many bow steps start from here, and you really need to think of putting that heel out on the diagonal. And your heel will have a tendency to do just what you said, Rima, to drift in. It will have a tendency, until you're kind of trained, you will have a tendency to want to, you know, you're over here. So as soon, I call it coming to neutral, right? As soon as you relax, it's going to come here. And then you're going to unfold it, and this is where you're going to be, right? So you've got to either not relax this and just unfold it, right? And control it up here. Or you're going to have to, you can let it relax for the time being. You can let it relax and think about going out on the diagonal. But yes, you want to get the shoulder width apart if you can. It will be more stable for you. All right, so is it the hands, is it the feet, or is it, oh my gosh, getting the two coordinated at the same time? That's it, it's always it. Welcome to Tai Chi. So what Tai Chi is a process of training your mind and training your body, and eventually you're building a habit and your body puts it together. Much like if your body already knows how to do some of this stuff, it just has to figure out that that's what it's supposed to do right now. All right, well, let's give this a try. And we're going to come back to this next week. Don't worry. There's no assumption that you have this. We are going to do this from here. Let me just go through the hands with you one more time. Okay, so I'm going to hide this other hand. No, I can't do that. Here, take this off. So if we do this, the hands, it's one more time, because you're not going to be able to see them as easily. Right. So we're going to swing, and then we're going to move over and swing back, right? Right? Except this hand goes like this, right? So it's going to be like this. We're going to swing, and then we're going to move over and push the button. Then here, this comes right across in front of our shoulder, right? But it's a ways out. It's not real close to us. It's a ways out. And your fingertips are under your elbow, right? And then we're going to put a macaw on our lower arm. And we're going to raise it up while we pet it. All right. And it's going to, and your other hand is going to end up as a pushing down. So I heartily recommend taking the video and trying this at home when the video comes out. But we will be going over, don't worry, we will be going over this. This is one of those moves that people come back to like weeks later and say, could we go over that again? Which is just fine. All right, so here we are. We're going to put things together. Get yourself in prepare. Feel grounded. Sort of sitting in that, reaching for that bar stool to relax your lower back. At the same time, feeling very extended in your spine, and those arms are just kind of heavy and dropping, and you have a very long neck. And opening, we're rotating our arms, they're coming up and pushing down, like we're pushing some sort of floating cushion into the water until we can't anymore. Left ward off, little shift to the left, and then we're going to turn out on that right foot, swinging our arms, right? Then put that right foot down and stand on it. And as you do, turn back a little bit, but look down, make sure that right foot, that right knee is in line with your toes. The knee is in line with your toes, right? Now, are you there? Are you there? You're going to switch. At the top, your right hand's going to go across in front of your left shoulder, but still staying out from your body and your left arm is under your right elbow, again at the same level, and you're stepping out with your heel and rooting. What happens now? You're gonna heel ball toe, starting to turn your body to the right, to that corner at the same time. As you do, you're petting that macaw. Put that macaw on your left arm, start to raise it up and push down. Ideally, the end of your push right here happens with the end of your arm. One more time. Prepare. Opening. Up to shoulder height and pushing down, controlling that floating cushion in the water until you'd lose control if you went any further. Shifting left, turning out and swinging to the right. All our weight on the right. Push a button. Switch our arms, extend our foot, touch with the heel. Heel, ball, toe. Our Tai Chi pulse moving on the diagonal and then just turning as we pet the tail and raise our macaw. Here's our macaw. We've come down long, long tail. Our nice Tai Chi hand is open, and this tiger's mouth, that's what this is called, the tiger's mouth between your thumb and your finger is sort of pointing up towards your middle forearm, right here. One more time. Prepare. Opening. Left ward off, shift left, turn out, swing right, all our weight to the right, push a button, all of it's there, and close, step unfold, and heel ball toe turn. Raise that macaw. It's getting there. So it looks like this when you're done. The arms will look like this. So one will be straight and one will be pushing down at your sides. And you're going to be pretty erect. We'll talk more about that next week. We are just about at the end of time, but I have time for questions. Does anyone have a question? Honestly, it will get easier. On a scale of, 1 to 10, this one is on the harder and more challenging. And it would be challenging if you had already studied Tai Chi. Right, Gail? Because she has another form she knows. Yes, it's so true. So don't be discouraged. Just enjoy your macaw and take whatever it is that you got from today's class. All right. Okay, Tom, what have you got?
Just a logistical thing. We had trouble this time because we couldn't find the Zoom link, and we did eventually. But I'm wondering if you could do your weekly emails.
Well, everybody has their own. So I believe you could send me yours and I could compare it with mine and see. I think they are supposed to be personalized. So it knows that you're you when you come in. Not that you couldn't come in on more than one computer with the same link. I'll send you an email about it. So yeah, send me an email about it, and maybe we can do something for everybody that's in the class, which is have an extra link which I can send out to those people who are already on the email list. I think that makes sense. That would be easier. Nice idea, Tom. That way, the other thing you can do is put it in your calendar. That might work if you have that online. That's what I do for it. All right, any other questions? All right, let's stop. Thank you.